Good morning guys, and welcome back to Allotment. It's the 10th of July 2021. Thanks for popping along again, and first of all apologies I haven't been putting up as many videos lately as I used to. I haven't been very well lately, just feeling under the weather really, with no energy at all. You will have seen on the last couple of videos that I have actually managed to put up that we did get some small progress, and just a bit of an update really. So I'm up at the allotment now, the birds are all fed and watered, chickens are all done, and I'm just in the shed making myself a cup of coffee as usual. I haven't came up with any real plans today. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to potter and see where the day goes, see what I can do and what energy I have to get done. So a bit of an update, we've now cleared all of the potato beds through the weeks. I've been coming up in the evenings and lifting the rest of the potatoes, and I'm pleased to say overall I'm actually happy with the harvest this year. Out of the 7 beds we got 5 brown potato bags full of potatoes, and that's from the first earlies. Now we didn't put anything else in potato wise, first earlies, other than first earlies, sorry. And if you're curious to which ones I actually grow, they're called Winston. And what I've done is this year I've kept myself some back for seed potatoes. I'll need to do a bit of YouTubing to find out how to preserve them and keep them good for next year. So I've kept myself about a quarter of one of those brown bags back as seed potatoes, and cleared down all of the potato beds. I've done little bits of weeding here and there, and there wasn't a great deal, a beauty of no dig. So I have been just trying to keep on top of the weeds as well, any weeds that were popping up, guys. Mainly in the bark chipped area, ironically, but some in the beds. And so we've had a good clean down. So now those seeds that were planted 3-4 weeks ago, we'll hopefully get some of those planted out today. And we had a few old potatoes left in a bag down home, and I thought rather than throw them out, now we have the new ones, we'll plant them, and hopefully we're going to get something out of them. Anything at all will be a bonus. So there's probably only enough potatoes to go in one bed. So what I'll do is I'll pretty much prepare one bed, and we'll plant those rather than throw them away. If we get anything out, that's a bonus. If we don't, well, hey ho. If we don't try, we won't know. But if we get a late crop of potatoes, however small that happens to be, that will only be a bonus. So that's basically all I've been doing. Sorting out the backyard, finishing off, putting the lights in, the little water feature. There's still one more little planter to build, 2 trellis, one more trellis to go on the wall, and that's us done basically down there. And of course I am back at work, so I've been working the whole time as well. I'm just going to have this cup of coffee, then I'll bring you along and we'll see where the day takes us. If you're new to this channel, please think about hitting the subscribe button and then the little bell icon, and select the all button. That'll alert you every time I put up a new video. I want to say thanks as always to all of my subscribers for sticking with me, and all the new subscribers of recent times. Well, welcome aboard, and I hope you enjoy the content. Don't forget, when we reach the 1,000 milestone, for those who are interested in pigeons, there will be a pair of pigeons to give away. I'll draw a winner at random, and then basically what will happen is I will pay for the courier costs and ship them to you. I will, in return, request you leave a comment in the sections below saying a particular sentence, and then for those who comment, their names will be put into a draw, and one will be selected at random. Go and have the cup of coffee. I'll bring you along, guys. Right, guys, we'll just start off by giving you a look at this. So this is one of the peppers that we showed you earlier, and I've got to be honest, I've been neglecting the plants because I just haven't been well. And you can see the state of this poor pepper here. And I'm not sure whether it's whitefly or spider mite actually. I think it's spider mite. Someone might be able to give me a bit of advice in the bottom of the in the comments. There are lots and lots of like red eggs. I think it is actually spider mite. I might be wrong, but it could be whitefly. But I've brought some stuff as a mixture to spray these with. A YouTube video I'd seen involving isopropanol, peppermint oil, castile soap, etc, etc. And I'm going to do a test on this plant and see if we can get it back to life again, guys. We've removed it completely out of the polytunnel because it was the most infested, and now these in here are also being affected now, but they aren't as bad as the other. But you can see there appears to be thousands and thousands of like little red eggs, and I'm going to say these are spider mite, to be honest, which are an absolute nightmare. I've never had them before. But we're going to spray these as well, guys. As I say, I've got some stuff to make up. Some of them are thriving in spite of and putting out flower. This side is less affected, and we're even getting peppers and chilies out on these. We have some nice Tigerella tomatoes in here. But I've decided I'm going to make a drastic decision as well, guys. Last year I didn't have a great deal of success with the beefsteak tomatoes, and I should have learned my lesson. And this year I'm having the same problem. Now, let me know in the comments sections below if this is something I'm overreacting to, but what I've found with the beefsteaks is they have this, I don't know if this is blossom end rot or whether this is just a design feature by nature with these beefsteaks, because every single one that's ever popped up, I've actually pulled the other ones off. They were just splitting all over the bottom, and I don't think it's anything to do with the watering or anything like that, because all these other tomatoes that have developed are all perfectly fine. So this is the Alicante, Alicante, Tigerella, Tigerella. But the same thing is applying to these beefsteaks on this side as well. There's three. And as you can see, they're extremely unsightly. And I actually don't think there's any point in growing these ever again, unless someone can tell me what I'm doing wrong, whether it's blossom end rot or whether that by design heals itself up at the end. Let me know in the comment sections down below, guys. Again, the aubergine is still fighting to come back. Once we get it sprayed down, it might make it. This one's doing a lot better. And this one's doing not too bad, considering it's stuck between these two pepper plants which are also infested. But I think that's moving on to the tomatoes as well, so we really need to get something done in here, guys. Our courgette still coming along really nice, seems to be unaffected, wants a good drink now. This is our honeydew melon growing along. It's lacking something obviously because the leaves are a bit starting to brown off now on the bottoms, if you can see. Let me know in the comments section again, guys, if you can help me out with that. I am a novice gardener. I started late in life, so if you can help me out with anything like this, I really would appreciate your comments. If you can steer me in the right direction, what I'm doing wrong, what I should be doing, what I'm not doing, that really would be helpful, guys. Right, guys, so I'm outside, and the first thing I've decided I'm going to do is treat those plants down in the greenhouse. We don't know what the results are going to be, but we're going to soon find out. So what I've got here is a spray bottle. I've got some hydrogen peroxide, 3%. It does recommend to only use 1%, so we will reduce that by a third. Then we've got some tea tree oil, castile soap, and we've got some peppermint tea tree, castile soap, and then we've got some rubbing alcohol as well, isopropanol. And basically the measurements I do have wrote down over here. It's 2 litres of water, 1/4 cup of tea tree, quarter of a cup of the peppermint, a tablespoonful of peroxide at 1%, so it's going to be a third of that, because it's 3%, and then 1 cup of isopropanol. So we're going to make that mix up now, and then we're going. So I've put 2 litres. This is a 5 litre sprayer, so I've put 2 litres of water in. We'll just double up on everything to try and get the mix somewhere near, and then we're going to spray these plants down, guys. We'll give you an updated video when it does work, and we'll see what the results are. So I'm just going to make this up now. So we'll start with, it says to start with the tea tree oil to start with, castile soap. Sorry about the motorbike in the background, the kids are flying up and down the path. So we'll start with this one first. This is just the tea tree oil. All this concoction does add up, monetary wise. However, if it works, it will be worth it, and better than some pesticides, presumably. So let's make a start. I've put the water in first so we don't end up with the bubbles all over the place, guys. That's what it recommended to do. So we have a quarter cup measure here. And of course it's a 2 litre, this is in 2 litres, so this is 4 litres, so we're going to have to double up on the things, guys. So that's our tea tree oil. It's hardly made a dent in it, so it's good value for money overall, and if you look at it like this, and it does work. We'll wait and see. Sorry about having me back to you. I can obviously only do this whilst I'm making it up. Oh, that's really nice. This is the peppermint one. And again, it's just castile soap with peppermint. Apparently the peppermint has really good properties at repelling insects. And again, it's a quarter cup, so we want 2 of those because we've doubled up on the water. And you guys can benefit from my experiments if they work. By the way, this experiment isn't my idea, it's one I found on YouTube, and it's had thousands upon thousands of comments. The one thing it doesn't state is that you can use it on edibles. But most of the ingredients in this, doing a bit of research, aren't exactly deadly. So, and by the time the fruit is ready to come off, and we've washed all the plant down anyways, it may take up some of the ingredients through the soil, I don't know. We'll find out. If I die as a result, you guys will benefit from not to do it. Right, so that's the peppermint and the tea tree. Now we want 1 tablespoon of peroxide 1%. Now this is 3%, so we only want a third of that. So we've got some spoons here as well, which is, so it's a tablespoon of 1%. So it's going to be a quarter of a tablespoon. A third of a tablespoon, sorry. So, and it's doubled. So it's got 2/3. We'll err on caution and we'll only go with half a tablespoon. That's actually half a teaspoon. Teaspoon. Tablespoon. That's half a tablespoon there, guys. So we'll go with a half because we've got to double the water. Make sure I'm getting the contraption right. 1 tablespoon of peroxide. By the way guys, this isn't the peroxide you dye your hair with. This here is food grade hydrogen peroxide. Make sure you get the right stuff. Half a tablespoon. And apparently this, combined with the isopropanol, are the magic ingredients which kills them outright. And they're safe to mix together guys. I watched the guy doing it. So that's our half a tablespoon, half a tablespoon. Sorry for keep turning me back on you there guys. Half a tablespoon of hydrogen peroxide. That's 3%. You can't get the 1% anywhere. I did try. You can't get it anywhere. The lowest I could get was 3%, food grade. And this is rubbing alcohol isopropanol, 70%. And it says 1 cup of that, but it didn't say what percentage. I did, or did it? Yes, it maybe did say 70%. I just maybe haven't wrote it down. And it says 1 full cup of that. One cup. That seems a lot. Never mind. And that's a cup, guys. So you're not going to get a lot out of this. If I go up in flames, you'll know why. I got it wrong. Yeah, you're only going to get about 2 cups out of this, guys. This is a 500ml bottle. So you're only going to get 2 mixes up out of that. You'll get plenty more out of your castile soaps and your peroxides for obvious reasons. But this, you're not going to get a massive amount out of it. Right, we'll leave those there to dry out, and we're going to see if the magic works, guys. As I meant to say as well, the castile soap is very low suds, so even when you shake this up and mix it all together, you don't end up with a great big froth of suds. So basically we're just going to spray this down and see what happens, guys. And then tomorrow we'll come back and we'll see if we got rid of these things altogether or not. You need to also, sorry I'm having to hold the camera on an angle because I'm down on the ground. You need to get underneath the leaves as well and spray the soil, it says, where it is, so that anything that falls off is soon going to die off. Apparently it kills the eggs, even if they're carrying eggs, the adults are carrying the eggs, it kills the egg sacs and everything. So, we will find out. Right guys, I'm going to have to stop recording while I get underneath the leaves because I can't hold the camera at the same time because we want to see if this really does work. Right guys, that's it complete. So, I've actually just treated all of these peppers. And they're already looking much cleaner. Now obviously the spray will have dispersed some of them, but if it's not going to do anything, they will be back by tomorrow. Don't worry about that. One thing that is really nice about this, it smells beautiful in here with the peppermint stuff. I've also done the aubergines and the peppers because this is where the infestation was mainly, on these 3 here, and of course this one here being really bad. Doubtful this will make a comeback, but it might. We don't know. We'll wait and find out, guys. That's what this test is all about. This one here conversely was thriving quite well, but it did have some infestation, so we've sprayed that as well. We've done the melon and the honeydew melon. And as a test, we've just done these 2 outside leaves, although there doesn't appear to be any of that mite on this courgette. I wanted to see what effect it would have on the leaves of this courgette. We've also done this little melon here, this pepper here. These weren't really suffering, but they did have some, so we thought we'd do it anyways. And likewise with this one. So hopefully that's the magic applied. Now it's just a waiting game, and we'll have a little look tomorrow and see if there's any improvement, and we'll keep you posted on how these plants do going forward, or whether we need to reapply. Right guys, we're over in the growing area now. By the way, Billy, I did try your pouring the castor oil and washing up liquid in a watering can down some of these holes. And I don't want to dismiss your idea, and there is a good possibility it really does work. However, Jeff still appears to be around, and as you can see, he's still digging. He seems to be keeping away from the actual beds now, but we're still getting a lot of activity down by the strawberry beds. So I'm not sure if there's more than one or what the heck we're going to do, but we'll have to look for some alternatives. I'm going to try these solar spike things that you plug in the ground. I don't know whether they work or not, but this is the bed that we took the potatoes out, and as you can see, it's being pushed up again in places. And we know that was all weeded at the time that I'd done the potatoes, for what little weed there was in there. So yeah, I'm not sure. We've now completely emptied all of the beds, as we said earlier. Every single bed has been harvested of potatoes. This was always the intention, so we could get other crops in here. But what I don't know yet where I'm going to put these other old potatoes and plant them. I was thinking about prepping this bed again and putting them in here. However, with the next lot of peas, I want to put a bit of a frame up the back there and let them grow up the back of this fence. And put something else in here that's a bit more depth of this in this bed. So we might just, I don't know, select the 2 bottom beds that we hardly ever go near and put the potatoes in those 2, and then use these ones here for the other produce. The strawberries, we've been picking them constantly through midweek, and as you can see, they are still producing. These were the early variety. There's also one there rooted itself, and I'm going to let it take, and then we'll snip the runners off and we'll lift that, and we'll lift these when they're finished producing and cut them back, and then we'll put them into, I have some of these brand new ones, really big ones. We might put some of those on the sides of the polytunnel down that side there, and fix them up on a shelf somewhere, and maybe grow them along, grow some in there. You'll also see I've now staked some of the runners off the most prolific strawberries. These are still flowering profusely. They're still producing strawberries. The birds are still eating them. But I'm not really that worried. We've had lots of strawberries, guys. So what I'm doing is propagating some here. These are only 1-year-old plants. Could potentially get another year out of these, but we'll take some runners off the ones that are producing the best. These ones are they're still producing, but they're struggling a little bit, but that possibly is once the bed topped up now with really good compost. But yeah, we're going to think about what we're going to do as regarding a good strawberry bed. I do like the strawberries, guys, so we're starting to, hopefully we're going to start propagating some of these. We've put them in pots, we've set them on top of pots of soil and just put a little metal pin to hold them down so they can put the roots down. Once the roots are in there, we'll cut the runners, the umbilical cords, and they should be able to look after themselves. Onions doing really nice since the last time I showed you them. They've actually put on quite a bit of growth. Really pleased with those. The Brussels sprouts are still going great for guns. Now, we are, yes, getting caterpillar damage because I've basically neglected them, and we didn't cover them over or anything at all. But this again is in itself is an experiment. As I say, I'm a novice gardener. I know these things are going to happen, but I just want to see to what extent the damage gets done. Can we still provide for Mother Nature and get a harvest? And it does look like they are actually producing some small cauliflowers down in between the leaves. Not cauliflowers, they'd be clever if they did that, the Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts, guys. So if the Brussels sprouts get unharmed and they just concentrate on the foliage, I'm not bothered because we don't eat the foliage. So again, a learning curve for me. And yeah, let's just see what happens. I'm going to leave Mother Nature to its own with this. Especially as we didn't prepare to cover them over. We might think about covering the ones over we're going to plant out as our sort of main crop, if you will. The turnips are doing really, sorry about the camera work here, guys, are doing really well now, guys. Look at the size of these, they're really coming on. As you've seen in one of the videos, I cut this back, there was almost no foliage left, to let air and everything else get in there. And as you can see again, we have a lot of caterpillar when I find them again. There they are. We've got a lot of caterpillars on here as well. And again, we don't eat the foliage. So, I know this is letting them multiply, guys, but for this year, I'm not too concerned. It's a test and an experiment to see just what kind of damage they do. And if we lose the turnips, we lose them. Learning curve. So, again, we'll leave them to their own devices. Now, these cauliflowers, these Brussels sprouts, why do I keep calling them cauliflowers? I haven't planted any cauliflowers. These Brussels sprouts are also slightly damaged, but not as much as those ones. However, now that the caterpillars are on the turnips, there's every possibility they'll be next. The courgette, they're doing really well. Lots and lots coming in there, lots of flower. Oh, there's a nice courgette there actually. We could possibly even take that one today. That's just a nice size. And of course, the more you pick these, the more that comes, as you very well know. The beetroots are all a nice size, as you can see. I took another big harvest of those midweek, so we don't need any more. But we need to get through those and get them pickled or whatever, because the last of these need to come out now. These cabbages, oh yeah, these are hearting up really nice now. We'll take one of those down for lunch. Some doing better than others. Caterpillar damage slightly, but nowhere near what we thought. And again, these are really nice hearts. They don't look supermarket quality, but once you peel the one or two of these leaves back, they will be fine and we will get a feed out of them. Again, likewise, these are hearting up really nice. These are the little spring cabbages, pointed spring cabbage. And as I say, some are looking much healthier than others, considering Jeff's been playing havoc with them as well. Yeah, we're getting some really nice heads of cabbage in there now, guys. We could start eating them now, basically. I've just took the suckers off the bottom of these sweet corns. I don't know if that's the right thing to do or not, guys. Again, leave me a comment in the section below. I could do with all the help I can get. I am a novice gardener, as I said. If you can help me out in any way, please feel free to leave a comment. The peas, doing really well. Some of these can possibly be harvested today, considering they got dug up. They did make a comeback. I left them to their own devices, gave up basically, and they've came back themselves without any intervention from me. The lettuces we've been picking and eating, they're getting just a bit past now. They're still perfectly edible. They need picked and cropped out though, and then we can start. We do have onions in this bed. I might cut a leaf or two back on this courgette as well, because it's swamping out the onions. However, if we don't get them, we don't get those ones. And then we can maybe get some more radish in here, or we'll get a secondary crop of something in here as well. So we've already had one harvest. We've got all the, by the way, we picked all of those radishes. There was tubs and tubs and tubs of them, and they were gigantic. a little bit on the woody side, but not as bad as I thought they were going to be. So yeah, you can see we've got lots and lots of peas on here now, podding out, and some of them are filling out nice. I don't want to take them too soon because I actually like them to fill out a bit. Not too big, but I like them to fill out a bit. Some of them have swelled and possibly are pickable. That's about the size I like them, nice and firm. So there are a few here near the bottom which are probably ready. So we might get a small harvest of those today as well. And that's basically pretty much it. We've been pulling odd weeds out. But as you can see, Jeff is still around in spite of all the traps. In spite of all, in spite of dousing the holes with castor oil and washing up liquid, I'm afraid he's still present, or there must be hundreds, one of the two, and some of them are undeterred. So we're going to try these solar spikes that vibrate in the ground. Apparently they don't like that. How effective they are or not, I don't know, but they aren't really expensive. Anything's worth a try. So we'll give it a go, guys. I'm thinking we might get some of these seeds pricked out and either potted on or planted direct. I might just pot them on a little bit. Although the brassicas are pretty hardy, they're looking really anemic. They could probably go right in. Maybe get those done. I might pot, I might even just do the lettuces right in the bed as well, guys. Pick a few out and put them in. See how it goes. A long time ago I did mention about putting some boards along the back of here, some slate and latch screw to the wall to stop the nettles coming up. As you can see, they did, and they still are, and that will be a good idea. When I come to plant these in the ground, that's exactly what I'll do before I cut the holes in the membrane to plant these direct in the ground. I've also ordered myself 6 more dwarf stock trees because I sold my brother the other ones. He wanted some quickly, and I sold all my other ones I had in pots. So I've ordered another 2 apple, 2 pear and 2 cherry, and that's it. There will be no more after that, guys. So a few little jobs jobbed. I'm going to crack on and see what else I can think about doing. Right, guys, we had 18 of the old potatoes in the house. So we've basically, all we've done, we put 8 in this bed, and we've got 10 in that bed there, guys. And all we've done is same as last time. We've gone down about a bulb planter deep, that's all. We popped the potatoes in, we're going to cover them over, and we'll see what happens, guys. Like I say, I've never grew taters again after I've lifted taters in the past, but we're going to give it a go this year. And if we get anything at all, it'll be a bonus. And it's only taken up 2 beds. I've still got all these 4 and that big one at the back 5. Potentially if I pull the strawberries and onions out of there, I've got that one as well if I really need it. But I don't think we're going to go that far, guys. I don't need masses and masses of produce, just enough to keep us going. Right, guys, we've got the potatoes all planted and we've got them watered in now. So I decided I would just take a little harvest before we go home. And you can see we've got quite a nice, real solid head of cabbage there. 2 nice little leeks, and our first courgette. And we've pulled another turnip. They're not massive, they're not supermarket quality, but they'll be edible, guys. And it's all reward for effort. Right, guys, so just for the record, I don't know whether this is right or wrong, but all I know is it seems to be working. So with the cabbages, what we've done, you see we had a nice massive foliage on these earlier. Now this is the second time I've done this. When I stripped all the big leaves back, the first time they started to heart up. I basically only want them for the heart. So what I've done is I took away all the excess foliage. And basically the decaying leaves, and some of them, they were a little bit diseased or had holes in from the insect, and I've left them with just the hearts. They can still photosynthesize, I'm assuming, and we're basically just leaving them to finish off. They are actually ready, but if we can get them a little bit bigger, then why not? But we have already had a feed out of the cabbages, and the first picking, we took the leaves for the cabbage. We took the good leaves and disposed of the others, but there were some clean leaves, so we used those. And then we've been taking them slowly but surely. I think we put 8 in here in total, and there's 2, 3, 4, 5 left. So we've had 3, including today's pick. So yeah, let me know if you guys do this in the comments below. Do you break the leaves away from the heart and leave it to just continue and put all the goodness into the heart? It seemed like they were putting the goodness into the outer leaves, which were growing and growing and growing. And my theory is, if you break the outside leaves off, they'll put the goodness into the heart and it will bulk up. We'll see how that goes, guys. And last but not least, guys, we've got ourselves a couple of handfuls of peas. We can either cook them or we can just sit and eat them out the pod. Nature's sweets. Right guys, I hope the light's not affecting you too much. I've just had the door open because it's absolutely boiling and they've just had knocked the fan off, literally. It's about 24 degrees, even though it's dullish and overcast, it's about 24 degrees. I'm absolutely sweltering. I'm just having this final cup of coffee and then I'm going home. Today's video has been rather lengthy. I'll try and keep this as short as I possibly can. So just for the record, out of those 7 beds that we planted with the potatoes, we ended up with a total of 5 brown bags full of harvest. And then we had a quarter of one of those bags that I've kept back for seed potatoes. Possibly 30 or 40 potatoes we've kept back. And no doubt as we work our way through the bags of potatoes and eat what we want, there might be some more we can select for to just top that bag up. So we got those potatoes planted today. We got the strawberries runners set. We got a bit of weeding done. We got a small harvest. I forgot to mention, I had 14 bags of pigeon corn in the car, up to the gunnels again, the poor car. I've just, right after I finished the garden, been and unloaded that. And I've got enough corn. I've probably 30 bags of pigeon corn now. That should see me right through till Christmas and maybe even beyond. I shouldn't need any more this year. All the birds are almost finished. I'll possibly show you these youngsters tomorrow. The last of the youngsters. It turned out that they are frill stencil underneath the white bar opal cock that's rearing them that is a foster parent. It turns out they are both frill stencils, not blacks. And it turned out that the spread brown isn't a spread brown, it's a nice recessive red, which obviously comes from the almond. And then there's a white almond youngster as well, and there's one barless blue in there, really nice youngster. We'll probably give you a look at those tomorrow. Yesterday, God, my head's battered. We'll probably give you a look at those tomorrow. Tomorrow, I didn't get the seeds. I didn't get any of those seedlings planted out, and I've had enough for today. I've actually got quite a bit done in spite of being low on energy, and I'm going to be contented with what I've got done. So tomorrow, I'll probably just give you a look at those pigeons, possibly even wean 1 or 2 of them off, or all of them. And plant a few of those plants, weather permitting, and maybe give you another look at the peppers that we sprayed down, see the progress on them, see if they're any better, see if they're any worse, did they die, etc, etc. Right guys, I'm not going to bobble on any longer. I'm going to finish my cup of coffee and I'm going to go home for some lunch. As always, wherever you are in the world, please stay safe, be practical, and keep yourselves out of harm's way. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video.